Uh, Whatever I heard so far, the very purpose of educating the children is that they are the one who are more receptible. They want to know, they are more inquisitive. And when the children take interest, parents and the adults, they have to take interest and they have to support their child. Today, most of the parents have experienced, even we have experienced that the schools give different projects. And when the schools give the different projects, the parents have to do those projects and parents have to contribute in doing those projects. So same is the thought process. If such programs are jointly attended by the parents, the guardians, adults, and also children, the education related fire safety can reach to every home. And this is the beginning. During my earlier days as a director and fire advisor, as per the government of India guidelines, we used to conduct the competitions of essay competitions, drawing competitions for the children. And we used to get a tremendous response. Now, the same activity in a different way, we would like to start through the Fire Safe India Foundation. This is my first announcement for the day. Second thing that what we are planning is that we have put efforts in past, but since now reasonable audience is there, we would like to host a quiz on our website. And I invite the children and the parents and those are attending, they can guide the children, they can, motivate the children to participate in those quiz and maybe they can help in solving those quiz. And the children, those who will win that, they will be able to solve certain number of questions. Naturally, they will be rewarded with a certificate and a good hamper of gifts for them. So once the school time, that is what I remember, whatever I learned during my school days, certain type of sports or certain types of extracurricular activities, whatever that I learned during that time, even my formal education, I remember that better than what I learned later. So that is the confidence that we all have, that if children are the real pillars of this nation and they are going to be adult one day, they know about. The third objective is some of the children, maybe boys and girls, there's no gender bias. There are girls entering into fire services now, which you have probably, if you have been attending from the beginning, you must have seen some of the videos how the girls have mounted the fire trucks. So girls and boys, they can think about the fire engineering or the fire technology as a new opening for them. Though appears to be a gray area, there is no great recognition in the society today, at least in the Indian society. Let me tell you, there's a huge career opportunity in the fire technology, fire science, and different spheres of the fire technology. You can imagine that today IIT Madras, IIT Gandhinagar, and IIT Roorkee, they are showing interest in developing the branch in the fire engineering or the fire technology. There are fire management subjects being taught in different schools today, business schools today. So this is a great subject. You can definitely help society in terms of saving the life of the citizens by being a professional firefighter, fire officer, or maybe through becoming a design engineer, best design engineer, maybe the fire protection engineer. Maybe you can do a fire prevention work. Maybe you can do work in R&D. There are many test labs. IIT Gandhinagar is going to inaugurate a test lab just in this Saturday on 3rd of December. So you can imagine where this particular subject is going towards. I don't want to just overdose the children, but these are the things that the parents also should know about. But today, the great speaker that we got here is my colleague, Mr. Kiran Hatyal.
Thank you, Deshmukh sir. I'll just share my screen. I hope my screen has been seen to you.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
On the onset, I would really appreciate and thanks the Fire Safe India Foundation for touching a very sensitive topic, that is the fire safety for the children in the school and university. I myself personally believe that it is very much important that you teach the children when they are young. And whatever you teach the children, because we are totally focusing on the children, and whatever you teach them, they not only keep that knowledge with them, when they go home, they share this knowledge with their parents, with their neighbors. So if I am right now, I'm telling anything to the children, I believe more 5 people, those who are not attending the webinar, they will be also getting some knowledge about the fire safety. So when we are talking about the fire safety in school and university, so I believe the target audience will be children, as well as the parents, as well as the school management. So I've tried to keep my presentation so that it will be useful for the children, not only in the school, but in the other areas also. And therefore, I have just made the slide for the schools, university, and the children needs to be safe everywhere. So what the points, what I'm going to talk over here will be something related to schools, as well as if you are at home or you are at any place. So I have not, like Anura in her beginning statement has said, that there are many incidents that has happened on the school, where even in a Kumbakonam kind of a thing, 93 children died. So I don't wanted to bring the statistics or any hilarious pictures over here. Just to bring your attention, there have been many incidents, one at Kumbakonam or Dabavli, or recently, if you remember the Surat, where in a coaching class, most of that video had gone viral on the WhatsApp also. You saw the children jumping from the upper floors. So such kinds of incidents do happen. So we need to understand as what we have to do and what we don't have to take precautions, and what we can do when we hear a fire alarm, there is a fire in the school. And before that, we also need to understand what will be the different kinds of hazards present in the school, like lab and the kitchen, the gas is over there. So I will try to cover up not only the school, we'll try to see what precaution we can take at homes and the other places also, and some little basics of fire. So basically, what is fire and how we can try to extinguish them. So before that, I will just like to put a very simple question. What you think? If you think what is a fire, is it a useful or a harmful? And if you think this fire is very harmful, let me correct you, because fire is a very useful thing. Right from the beginning, we have our breakfast and tea, and to the time we go to our bed having our dinner. During winter season also, we take some heat from the fire to keep ourselves warm. And even our program today, it started with the burning lightning of the traditional lamps. So fire is very, very, very useful to us. When it will become harmful, if we don't pay attention to it, if we don't pay attention and we let it just burn, unnecessary negligence. So if we keep the fire under our control, it is a very good slaves. But if the fire take control of us, it can become a very, very bad master. The only thing what you have to do, you have to keep the fire very much under control. And what will happen if there is a really fire, whether it is in the school or it is in the office or in some factory building? Not only that particular building or the property is lost, but sometimes a lives is also lost. And when if a factory or something office is burned, that particular premises stays closed for weeks and months and a year also, and there will be a lot of people who will be without jobs. So we have to keep this fire very, very much under our control. So before that, just let us try to understand from the school point of view. Do the staff or the children really know what action that has to be done in case of a fire? If there is a fire in your school, what exactly you will do? Does everybody knows their roles and responsibility in such event? What happens in fire? What we have to do? Should we stay there? Should we run? what we have to do, what will be the teacher responsibility, what will be the students responsibility. Everybody has their own role that they need to play. Have we checked whether our entry and exit is obstacle free? Not only in schools, I will say again, I'll repeat again and again. So school, most of the entry and exits are normally kept free, but the place where you are living, the staircase, are those obstacle free? Sometimes you go in malls, shopping malls, multiplexes. Sometimes the entry and the exit path are most time they are obstacle, or we need to keep them free. So I'm not going to limit myself to school over here. We'll talk about everything. But before that, just let us try to understand how does this fire really starts. So basically things, three basic factors are required where if these three things comes together, fire is bound to happen. The first thing is the fuel. Fuel can be solid like paper, wood, plastic, rubber, or it can be a liquid like petrol, gas, or any other liquid that are liable to burn. And the gases like hydrogen, CNG, right now we are using in our homes and even in our cars. The second factor, that is the oxygen which itself is present in the air. So presently, now you'll see the fuel is all around you. The oxygen is also all around you. The third most important thing that is waiting to happen is the heat. If anywhere this particular heat comes, whether it comes from a carelessly thrown matchsticks or a cigarette thrown carelessly, or even a spark which do happen sometimes due to electrical short circuits. When we were also small, or the children which are small right now, you must know, if you take a paper and just take a lens, convex lens, and try to put under the sun, a heat is generated on the paper and paper starts to burn. So a small amount of heat is good enough. So all these three things together, what we called as a triangle, when these all three things comes together, a small fire begins. I'm talking about a small fire because every fire is always initially small at the stage. And if we don't pay attention to this, then this fire becomes very large. And this, when goes out of the control, it definitely damage all the property, and sometimes the lives is also lost. So once you understand these three things are together, these three things comes together, it forms a triangle. And so if we have to extinguish the fire, we need to break this triangle. We have to break this triangle. So when we break this triangle, the fire will automatically get extinguished. So how we can do that? Say, for example, on the table, your library table, numbers of books are kept, and one pile of a book catches a fire, or I lead them with a fire. What action you are going to do? Are you going to run to the bathroom and try to catch a bucket full of water and try to pour it? No. I think most of you will definitely remove the other books which are just near to the books which have caught fire, and we will remove them. This will not help the fire from one pile of book going towards the another pile of books. This is called as removing of fuel, and in simple word, we call it as a starvation. So we don't give more fuel, we don't add fuel to the fire, how that is said. But second example, if you see in the middle, there's a oil pan and there's a fire to the oil pan. Now, it is not possible in this case that I remove oil, I remove this fuel from this particular pan. And what will the most of will do? Housewife, they definitely know, they will simply keep a lid on it. So basically what they have done, they have removed the second part of the triangle, that is they have stopped the supply of oxygen reaching to that particular pan. And once you keep that lid, automatically that fire will get extinguished. The third below picture, let's say there is a grass, wild grass, and there's a fire to the wild grass. Here, I cannot cut grass, I cannot remove the fuel, then I cannot keep any lid, I cannot keep any blanket on this. So I don't have any other option, but I have the third triangle, that is the third part of the triangle, that is the heat section I have to remove. And the most fire service people, what we do also, we put large supply of water. And once the temperature comes down, automatically, whatever the fire is there, it get extinguished. So if the three things comes together, fuel, heat, and oxygen, we can start fire. So we can remove all the one by one, these three things we remove, automatically the fire is also going to get extinguished. So in school or wherever you are, we need to also identify what can be the hazards present over here in school or whether at home. This is the overload electrical point with too many plugs. We put our mobiles also over there in TV connection, audio. We have our what you call play box, then all your set-top box, all cable connection. If we just connect it to the one particular plug, then there is going to be a tremendous heat, and
I'll call you back.
we might see fire happening over there. So if such kinds of these things are you're able to see, we have to just remove these kinds of hazards from there. Secondly, you will find the improper storage of flammable and combustible material in the storeroom. If it's a school, then most of the time, if it's a laboratory, definitely chemicals are kept. But beside laboratory, if anywhere these chemicals are kept, it has to be kept properly. There can be a housekeeping materials, and you have the sanitizers and soaps and everything. Even a sanitizer is also alcohol based. So we need to identify which are these material that can catches fire, and we can keep it very separately. So the liquid we can keep separately, and all the papers and all the scrap material also we can keep separately. Then we have the laboratory and the kitchen, where you will find the gas. The gas connections, whether the tubings, whatever we have installed, are those tubings properly? We might have installed the tubing properly, but sometimes due to rodents, these tubings gets damaged, and there can be the gas leakage. Same case can happen in the canteen. So properly the ISI mark tubings are available. That particular tubings needs to be done. Cooking, that can be left attended in the canteen or the kitchens. So kitchen fires also we have seen. There can be some oil pan is there, and if it might catch something fires over there. Again, in kitchen you will find the LPG leakages can be there. So we also need to identify all these particular hazards, and once we identify these particular hazards, slowly how if we cannot remove them, but at least we should take proper care so that this particular hazard does not result into a fire hazard ultimately. So what you will do in case of fire? Suppose there is a fire in the building, whether it's a school building or mall, or whether your residential building. Just don't panic or don't run, because in case of panic or while running, most of the time we have seen fire, people die not mainly because of fire, rather because of smoke. Because what happens when they run, there are the chances they get stampeded and they can fall. So just don't panic, don't run, keep yourself calm. Also alert others also. See, there is a fire over here, so they can also leave that particular place. Proceed to a pre-planned area of safety, what we called as an assembly point. Now, this is the assembly point, which is the most important point, whether in school or at your home. You need to gather at the assembly point. In case of fire, just go over there. The basic reason to assemble in that particular area, so if it's a school, the teacher understands, so they come out, slowly walking, they come out and arrange class-wise, they can stand, and then teacher can take the head counts. Those they understand today what was our attendance. This was our attendance. Today there were 40 students were there, and I can only count 39. That means somebody is missing. We will understand who is missing and from which class he is missing. So even if it is a society, you can come and stand according to the floor wise, and everybody knows. So in residential area, at your home, everybody knows each other. So they know okay, everybody is over here. But in school, there are many children are there. So everybody needs to assemble very properly so that the head count can be done. Do not take shelter in the toilet, under the bed. So mostly the tendency is that whenever we are afraid or something like these things happen, we try to run and hide ourselves in the toilet, take shelter sometimes behind the cupboard. And if it is a residential kind of a thing, we try to go under the bed. Always avoid this. Don't go under the bed. Avoid taking lift. Always take the staircases. You should not, when there is a fire, you will think that I'll take the lift and then I will be go down immediately. No, what happens, because if there is a fire and the lift also runs on the electrical current, so because of fire, electrical supply may go off and you might get trapped in the lift. So never you take the lift. Don't take anything with you. If there is a fire, you have heard the alarm, don't take anything. Just you go out, leave all your belongings over there. Once you are out, do not go inside to bring anything. We have seen examples, mostly, sorry to say, but female wives, housewives, when they come out, they remember, my golds, ornaments, something has been left. Let me bring that, otherwise that will destroy in fire. Even the office goers, male also, they think their most important papers are kept in the building. Some, it might happen, some important passport, your ticket must have kept in the drawer just morning, and then you think, oh no, okay, my passport is there, I will go back and bring. No, once you are out, you are safe into the safe outside the building. Never you should go inside. And if possible, because if you have the number, then immediately you should call the fire brigade. What happens if there is a fire as well as smoke? Sometimes we have often seen during the Diwali times, when you're playing with the firecrackers, because all the other also kept, you're playing the firecrackers, your clothes may catch fires. What you will do in case your clothes catch fire? Don't run, just stop, drop and roll. Means just stop wherever you are, lie down on the ground and roll yourself, because whenever you are rolling, as I said, when you will be rolling, the third part of the triangle, that is the oxygen which is getting to your clothes, because if you run, more oxygen will come to you and it will catch more fire. So just stop, drop, lie down and just roll. So automatically the oxygen supply will be cut. If room is on fire, leave calmly, go slowly, close the door behind you. So just close, so that if the fire is inside that room, it stay inside. If you leave the door open, then the fire will slowly come out and then it will go to the other areas also. So just leave the fire and just close the door behind you. If possible, carry blanket. Because I'm talking about school as well as in the residential area. So if possible, just carry the blanket to protect yourself from heat. Stay low, because smoke, whenever there is a smoke is very lighter than air. So it always tends to stay at the ceiling level. So always keep yourself low, crawl if you encounter any smoke. If you notice huge smoke just outside your room, then don't go out, because if there is a huge smoke, it will be very difficult for you to breathe under such circumstances. Just stay inside, put some wet towel or a bed sheet underneath the door. So if you keep towels and bed sheet underneath the door, so there's some cracks or something, the smoke will not enter your room. You have your mobile number, call for the fire brigade. You should know the fire brigade number. Basically, it is 101. So call for the fire brigade. Indicate your presence, because right now you are in the room. You might be on any floor. You might be on 3rd floor or you might be on the 13th floor. Indicate your presence either by shouting. You can shout, because some people, because there is a fire, people will be standing there. Fire brigade will also come. So shouting, it may happen, your shout may not go. Using some cloth signals. You can use some red dupatta, something, red towel, red cloth. You can wave out from the window, so somebody can see that somebody is giving a signal. You can give an SOS signal. You can even write with the, let's say you're at home, you can take your sister's lipstick, and you can write help on the window. But when you write HELP, help, it might be read some ulta. So you can just write SOS, because SOS can be seen in any way. It's just save our soul signal. So you can use SOS, and normally we have all our mobiles with us. So with mobile also, you can call your near and dear ones, and you can give them your locations. During night time, make use of torch. From the windows, you can give torch signal. Mobile also has the torch facility. So when you give the torch signals, somebody will definitely comes to know, because there is some lights coming on. The fire brigade peoples are there. They will be able to reach you immediately. But why we should always wait for the fire to happen? There is something that we can do before fire. And what we should know, that always know your route to place of safety. So if you are in school, you should be able to know what is the place of safety. Most of the school, it's a quite well lit and ventilated. You can come into the open ground at any given point of a time. But if it is a residential place, then you should know which is the safe place of safety. If the building is more than 10-storied building, definitely there is some thing called as a refuge area. That is always you will find on the 8th floor. So that can be the place of safety you can go. And the best place of safety is always take the nearest staircase. We always have the habit of coming to our flat through a lift. So we think we can go through the lift. No, we should always know what are the best place, which is the nearest staircase. And we should be aware of the 2 point of exits. So not only one staircase, can there be another staircase? Most of the time when you go to multiplex to see movie, we normally go to our ticket counter or wherever the lobby is there. And from there we enter the screen. During interval also, we come only for the eating popcorns or taking cold drinks and something like that. But at the end of the movie, our mind is set up in such a way that exit is always different from where we have entered. So these times you need to understand that yes, there are 2 points of exit. The one from where we have entered, that is also one kind of an exit. And normally where we go out, that is another exit. So always try to look for 2 exits whenever you go in any mall, any multiplexes. So look for the 2 exits. Participates in mock drill and evacuation drills. So schools and even the society, they conduct mock drills. But we take these mock drills very lightly. No, you should always participate, because these mock drills keep you more aware. Even the soldiers who protect our country, they don't wait for the war to happen. Whenever there is a peace time, they conduct the drills. So in case of any eventuality, there is a war kind of a thing, they are totally prepared. So you have to also prepare beforehand. So always take your part in this mock drill, then the evacuation drills. Then know all your safety plan, evacuation plans. So if you are in one particular place, now everybody have just returned from their Diwali vacation. So wherever you had gone there in the hotel, wherever you have stayed, if you would have always seen just behind the main door of the hotel where you had stayed in the room, there was always a sign which indicates you are over here and the nearest exit, and they show that particular plan. You know the safety plan, evacuation plan. So in case of any emergency, you know which staircase you have to go. So everything planning we have to do beforehand only. This diagram I'm trying to show because I know like children, parents, and the school managements are also there. In every building, we have this particular firefighting kind of a thing, what we call as a wet risers. And then we have these hose, which even a small children can handle that in case of a fire, because every fire, I said, it's a very minor fire at the initial stage. And if we don't control that fire in that particular, then only it will become big. So hose reel are there. You can easily handle this hose reel and extinguish the smaller fire. So I will say, so first my always suggestion will be there. If there is a fire, please go out. Don't try to extinguish over there. But if adults are there with somebody helps, they can definitely try to put out the fires. Then we have this manual call points also, you must have seen. So you have seen the fire, you need to intimate others. There is nobody, and you will find this particular manual call point. This will always find near the staircase, because while you are running near from the staircase, just pushing down, pull down, and automatically the alarm will goes, and this will give indication to everybody that something incidents has happened, some fire incidents has happened. This is a detectors. Mostly you will find in malls, multiplexes, hotels. These are the detectors which give the indications. If there is a smoke, it helps you to give these indications. Alarms it gives. And then this particular slide I have just added over saying your rights. Today actually is the 26th November. Some 8 years back, 26th November, most of the people remember as a Taj incidents, which had happened 8 years ago. But to give you, 26/11 also is called as the Constitutional Day. This was the day when the Constitutional was totally written, and it was then handed over to President of India for approval, which was finally approved on 26 Jan 1950. So I have just put on the slides your rights. The Constitution also say you have the right to live, but I will say you have full right to live safely, fire safely. You should live. So it is the responsibility, because we have this Fire Act also. It is the responsibility of the owner or the occupier. So here I will talk about the school management. It is your responsibility to ensure that the all firefighting systems and all firefighting exits and all other things are in a proper manner. It is working properly. So even if you are staying in any residential society, it is the responsibility of the society, the chairman, the secretary, and each and everybody's responsibility is there to see that all our firefighting systems are working properly. For the school, even the National Disaster Management Authority has issued a guidelines where every school has to follow a certain rules and regulations in order to prevent fire outbreak and ensure the safety of children. The Supreme Court has also given the judgment that the National Building Code of India Part 4, which is basically for the fire, life and safety, that has to be followed strictly. And every time a mandatory evacuation drill has to be conducted. The government of India has also issued guidelines, and on every 21st January, every school has to carry out the evacuation drill. If you don't know this, you can start planning and you can conduct this evacuation drill on the 21st January. We from our side, we also circulate or circular to all the school, but you can also take these initiatives. But if you know your rights, then you should also know your responsibility. You just can't say my rights. You should have your responsibility also. Know the fire safety rules. What are the safety guidelines that has been given? Always attend the mock drills, evacuation drills. Evacuation drills, mock drills might be conducted, but you have to take an active participation in that. As a teacher needs to identify there might be some child that require a special attention during emergency. There might be children with special learning disability. So there might be some children with hearing aids problem. So a teacher need to identify, they should know in which classes these children are there. So in case of emergency, when everybody is evacuating, this particular children will require special attention. So you need to evacuate them. Attend all the training sessions. You can even call the local fire service. They also give trainings and demos regarding the firefighting. Know all the exits in the premises. Know area of assembly, meeting place. This particularly meeting place I have written over here. So in a residential building, when you are staying with your parents, actually you decide with your parents. So even if we go somewhere out, we are going on a holiday, and when we go to a fair or something like that, we decide first only. If somebody goes missing, please meet me at this point so that we meet together. Even in a mall and the multiplexes, when we go for a movie or something like that, and if children are going first and the parents are coming later on, then they tell, okay, meet me at this particular point. So this meeting place, even during in our residential building also, we should make a practice. So this will be my, so on a ground floor near parking 2 area, For example, I am giving. So in case of emergency, whatever happens, we will meet near parking number 2, or wherever our car is parked, we will meet there. So in case of emergency, whatever happens, we know where we have to meet. Do not create obstacles in the exit path. So this basically I will tell for the residential people, because most of them we have seen it's become an habit that all our old newspaper, old furniture, old shoes, old bicycles, we normally tend to keep in the staircase and the staircase lobbies. Please, please, please don't keep anything in this particular staircase. It is our exit path, and this is going to help us in case of emergency. Don't keep anything. Do not damage, tamper with any firefighting equipments. Basically, the portable fire extinguishers are there. You should keep it. You should know where it has been kept. Nobody should misuse it. Misuse it means a particular place it has been kept, but you remove it because you want to keep your cycle over there or something like that, and you remove it and you give it somewhere inside. It will not do. Don't tamper with any firefighting equipment, because these are also going to help us in case of fire. And while concluding, like Deshmukh sir in his keynote address also had said ki, this director, when he was also the director fire advisor, we were conducting and we are still conducting the essay and the drawing competition. This year also, we have already circulated the topics for the drawing and the essay competition, which is going to, the last date for submission of this essay and drawing competition is February 28th, and we have already circulated, and the circular is on our website. And the essay competition topic, what we have given this year is the past, present, and future. Fire prevention is our culture. This is the essay competition subject we have given, but here only students from the 5th to 9th can only participate in this. And for the drawing competition also, we have given the topic electrical fire, loss of life and property. So all those school children, all the school management, those who are listening to us, you can go to our website and find out the circular. If you don't have, you can also ask FireSafe India Foundation. They will also help with the circular, and you can send as much as interest to this, and then we will judge them. Like sir said, FireSafe India Foundation should also conduct a quiz online tutorial. I had already made it on my PPT, and Deshmukh sir already told that he's also going to start. So quiz and some online tutorial that can be started with the FireSafe India Foundation. The most important thing I would like to put forward to the foundation is that, sir, you need to pursue government. So topic like basic fire can be introduced as a syllabus from the 5th standard to 7th standard students. We bound to see this fire subject somewhere after passing 12th. This is in some sociology. But I think when the children are young, they learn and they make others also more responsible. Some initiatives can be taken, and this curriculum can come. And regarding certification participation, you have also already said that. So just to give you some picture, some school children doing this demo. If these children can do it, they can handle the extinguishers. I think we can also do that. Yeah. You can visit our website, that is the mahafireservice.gov.in, for more information which we have put on regarding the fire safety. Yeah, with this, I conclude and we can go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran Atyal. A wonderful presentation, giving a good insight. The blend of the presentation was very good in terms of the different ages of participants that we are anticipating here. And there are already some questions put in a question answer box. So I will just try to address those, and wherever I would require, maybe Kiran and me will jointly discuss on the topic before you, and you will get a fair idea. Mr. Rahul.
The first question is by Mr.
Wait. Mr. Rahul Singh is asking a question: how to rescue the ICU patients in case of an emergency in the hospital. This is the burning question, especially during COVID, the kind of fires that we have seen. And we as a professionals at the national level, while deliberating this subject, while evolving or modifying or revising the National Building Code, there is something called as a horizontal evacuation. Now, these hospitals may not be equipped, but old hospitals, especially the government and public hospitals, are big hospitals, and there some compartmentation can be always done. But while removing the ICU patients, the patient has to be removed along with the bed, because ICU beds are wheel beds and they can be mobilized. While removing the ICU patient, you have to see that all the support systems are intact, and these patients are aided with the medical or the paramedical staff to keep them away from the smoke, either on the same floor preferably, or in the immediate lower or the upper floor. Lower or the upper floor, to carry these patients, there are no ramps provided, only staircases are there. So maybe you have to lift the patient on a stretcher and take him as if the ICU patients are taken to the ICU operation theater. That kind of a movement will be there. But this movement, swift movement, is impossible unless and until there is some practice, dry practice is done. So this is the, in a nutshell, the answer to Mr. Rahul Singh. Then Mr. Pratik Kumar Dholkia, he says he is from the Fire Safety Soldiers from Gujarat. Welcome, Mr. Pratik. That Abdul Azim has asked earlier 2 questions, that he wanted the course material and the copy of this presentation, which I have already replied to him. And he said that we will host this copy of the presentation in a PDF form on our website. And maybe those are interested, they can download. So that would be our pleasure to disseminate such information. Then certificate. See, this time it is not possible, but if you all, those who register on the Fire Safe India Foundation's official website for your membership, we will be conducting some programs, certificate programs, and there the participation certificate can be provided. Also, we are thinking to go live to the schools, conduct some programs and issue some certificate to the children. Abdul Azim Asmak, he is asking, could we get further webinar links? Yes, you have already posted your address details. Those are noted by our secretariat, and we will ensure that you also get the details of the further programs that we may host. Now, please throw some light on the subject, especially for children on board. How can they pursue their career in fire safety? Some career guidance. We will be holding independent program only for the occasional or the career guidance to enter into the fire service or opt fire service as a professional opportunity for their career. So we'll be doing that. But in a nutshell, I can tell you, since the question has been raised, there are 2-3 level of entries. One is in the basic matriculation, 10th standard pass. There are some certificate programs conducted by the different states, such as Maharashtra and all. So you can undergo those, people can undergo that program, and the entry is to the position of the firefighter or the fireman. Then there is a second level, that is National Fire Service College. It has a direct entry to the sub-officer course after passing your 12th standard and with the science background, and then you get the entry. Third is the more, the demanding career today is that after 12th, there are institutions in the country, like National Fire Service College is the most premier institute. Along with that, IPS Indore and such institutes are there. So those institutes offer GSFC, the Gujarat State Fertilizer Corporation, has also started the BTech program in Baroda. So you can Google out on the website, or we can provide you that information. And after graduation, you can take the BTech or Bachelor of Engineering program, and that is a great career opportunity in different sphere of the fire technology and science.
So we also conduct the sub-officer course at Maharashtra Fire.
Maharashtra State Fire Academy, which was proud to say that we started during my time, and with the help of team members like Mr. Kiran, Mr. Warik and others. So this particular academy caters to the need. We conduct 1 year fire officers program, any graduation that you should possess. And after 1 year, you have a entry into the fire services, or you will understand what are the opportunities in that profession other than the public service. Then there is Mr. Abdul Rizwan. I answered his question. Gopal Singh Yadav, PPT required for sharing training. Yes, done. That we will be hosting on our website in the PDF format. Then there is another person. From which room or the section did the... it started from the kitchen. It was a thatched roof and a very vulnerable structure of the Kumbakonam school, and the fire started from the kitchen. Abdullah Rizwan, is there any provision in the law? Yes, see, the mock drills, it is mock drill is a little not correct word. There's a word called as an evacuation drill. And the evacuation drill is to save evacuation of the occupants from the building, and the buildings include the schools also. And that is there clearly prescribed in the National Building Code of India. And Government of India, not Government of India, but the Supreme Court, as Mr. Kiran Atal told, it has held the Sri Krishna Trust, which had taken the public interest litigation before the Supreme Court. And all schools are mandated that they must be compliant with the provisions prescribed in the National Building Code of India. So it has become a case law. If there is no uniform law across the nation, but there is a case law, there is a substantial law, it is called, and the case laws are always mandated. And every state was made to file affidavit that yes, they will abide to the Supreme Court judgment. So there is a law, you can see. Mock drill, active fire system only, but how to check passive fire? Now, this is a big challenge. Actually, the passive fire protection means that the fire should not spread from the, in a nutshell, I'm telling, it should not spread from one compartment to the other compartment. Therefore, there are fire stoppers, fire check doors, and things like that. How to examine that? It is a little professional job. But Mr. Khandelwal, if you approach to our website on the email address called as info@firesafeindia.org, or to Mr. Kiran Atal, his email ID is also available on the mahafireservice.gov.in, will be able to help you on this. Avinash Kulkarni, people wonder how small fire will spread so quickly, but do not realize that the material like synthetics and it hardly take 5 minutes. I agree with you. As in the national and international level in the developed countries, every material that is used in our occupancies such as house, hospitals, hostels, your schools, that there has to be a certain fire retardant or the resistance. Unfortunately, we go by the cost, we carried away by the advertisement, and this cheap or the vulnerable materials are introduced. But you are bringing awareness. It is a comment and not a question. So I think we have discussed it. Kindly say circular for competition. Yes, already Maharashtra government has circulated. You can download from their website, but parallelly, FireSafe India also will be doing it. Sarita says, hello, sir. Which are the essential fire infrastructure in school? How should we know it? It will depend from the size of the school, height, length, breadth of the school. But basically for the schools, we do not, small schools, we recommend only the fire extinguishers, and we expect the people should take more preventive measures as compared to the protective measures. But if we get a drawings, we know what school size is this. We can understand what are the vulnerabilities, and the recommendations are there in the building code also, as well as we can prescribe based on the performance also. Anonymous attendees. How can we make volunteers for the FireSafe India? See, the FireSafe India Foundation, if you visit the website, we have a membership program going on. And if you subscribe to be the member, then the idea is not taking the membership fees from you, but to be connected. Some members, they become member and then they are not in touch with us. So annual, there is some small subscription, and through that we will be passing on a lot of goodies to you so that you are inspired or motivated to. Initial members are not benefited much, but now they will also benefit. But you can become a member. We welcome you to be the member. Now, type F is a type of fire. There were only 5 types of fire. That was last class was the E class. In the E class also is removed because electricity cannot burn. Electricity can cause fire. There is a big debate on the professionals. Now there are A, B, C and D types of fire only, madam. There is no F type of fire. Sunil Katekari. It is told at the presentation that the government of India asked to conduct evacuation drill. Yes, there are guidelines and those guidelines are circulated to different schools. Avnish Kulkarni. Number of EV fires. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean the electrical vehicles, the battery and the battery charging systems are causing some dangers, and things are being how to tackle by only suppression, gas-based suppression, but it is not so easy. So you can personally contact either me or Mr. Kiran Atyal through email, and we will give you some documentation as to how to deal with the fires. Very useful session. My question: in case of emergency, how many schools? How many should be evacuated in each staircase? How long time? 4,000 children in one school. See, there is a concept called as occupancy load. And for the school buildings, the occupancy load is well prescribed. And whatever the occupancy load in that building, to discharge that occupancy load, number of staircases and the width of the staircases, there is a set formula for that. Now, how to use those staircases, keeping those staircases, as Mr. Kiran said, keep those obstruction free, and then the evacuated children, the only practice will make them the perfect. MD Jahid. Mr. Jahid is asking what are the actions to be taken as a committee, facility service provider, against citizen, owner, those who kept and not ready to remove the such obstacle. Please notify it. There are 2 ways to do it. There is one app which you can get on the Fire Safety India website. Download that app, fill this information, send it to us, or write an email to the Director Fire Service Office or to Mr. Kiran Atyal, and immediately the directives will issue to the local authority to see that staircases are kept absolutely obstruction free. Is it possible to provide copies of NBC for students free of cost? We don't mind. Actually, the Bureau of Indian Standard has made this National Building Code and other standards free of cost. bis.gov.in is the website, if I am not mistaken. You can visit, subscribe there, and you can download all the codes and standard free of cost. Mr. Chako. Second person is Mr. Rajivilla Krishnan. How to fix turnout time fixed for the local firefighting team and evacuation time? There are 2 questions you are asking in one question. One is the turnout time. Turnout time is, as per the national guidelines, SFAC guidelines, is 60 seconds. After receipt of the call, recording the call and giving the dispatch sheet to the fire engine driver or the crew in charge of the officer, they are supposed to dispatch their fire truck in first 1 minute, 60 seconds. Practically, sometimes it goes to 90 seconds because earlier these guidelines were prescribed, the petrol vehicles were there. Diesel engines, they take some time to start idling and fill required pressure and start. But 60 to 90 seconds is the time for dispatch. After dispatch, the time to respond to the situation is very relative. Relative due to the reasons, it will depend on traffic and many other conditions. Then you have the evacuation time. Evacuation time is, as I said, it will depend on the discharge formula, the type of building, occupancy load, practice, and then the discharging the people. So it is a little detailed subject, but if you get in touch with us, we will provide you what is prescribed in the NBC, exact extract, and you will know more about it. But I am absolutely glad and delighted to know that the people have such kind of questions. The flammable material not to be used, evacuation time, evacuation drills. Please avoid using the terminology called as a mock drill. Please prefer to use evacuation drill. Is there any plan to include passive fire protection? Yes. Passive fire protection is already included in our syllabus. And February this year, 23, we are doing a special event with the Messe Nuremberg in the GEO, that convention center in Bandra, exclusively on passive fire protection. So you can visit the website, understand, see number of products available, and the conference also will be there. So you can take interest in that. Avinash Kulkarni. Oil fires that occur in kitchen cannot be put out using water. And we don't have fire extinguisher. How can contain? As Mr. Kiran Hatyal told you, kitchen fires, the fry pan or the kadai, what we call, if that catches fire, the only way out to keep some lead on that. And traditionally in Indian context, even the illiterate mothers or the elders, they have been handling it more skillfully than the professional firefighters. So only keeping the lid and, as he said, cut off the oxygen supply. But then the point at which you are raised is very important. We spend so much money on our comfort, safety, luxury, and other things like air conditioners, washing machines, and many other white goods. Why not have one or two small fire extinguishers in the house? So through your question, I would be happy to give a message to all our audience and participants. Do think of keeping an extinguisher, which you should keep in the house, how it should be used. For that purpose, you can contact us. There must be one single common fire safety guideline with specific act, rules, regulation for nation. See, it is not possible because in the Constitution under Article 243W, the subject of fire services is being dealt by the different states. It is in the state list and it is not in the union list or the concurrent list. And therefore, every states, they will have to make their own act, rules and the regulation. And most of the states have that in place. And there's a lot of similarity between these legislations of the different states. Gopal Singh Yadav, can you suggest ISC standards for electrical fire? Yes, there are standards. And as I told you, please visit the BIS website and you can download. I don't want to confuse you with a specific standard. There are a number of standards available. Which purpose? Lifts different standard is there. Substation different standard is there. Transformer, there's a different standard is there. So you please visit that. And there are even the CEA guidelines, Chief Electrical Authority of the Government of India. Under their act, they have issued some guidelines. Those are very useful guidelines. Vinash, is there a need for a public hydrant system? Yes, it is very much needed, but unfortunately, in the before the independence, major cities in Maharashtra at least, and the cities like metros in Delhi, Calcutta, the Chennai, the then Madras, all these cities, they were provided with the fire hydrants. In my childhood, I have seen the use of fire hydrants by the firefighters, but unfortunately, with the road developments and the widening, raising of roads, etc., we have buried these fire hydrants. And now most of the fire services depend on the water bowsers than the fire hydrants. But yes, it's very much needed. As a nation, we are lacking and we should move on that. Is there any plan to include topic on passive fire protection? I think I have already addressed that. Omkar Bhosle. Some schools and area which do not have basic fire equipment, which are basic material available that can be used to suppress the fire. And that is serious. If you highlight to us or the government this thing on the which schools are lacking in that, they can be issued a notice and the action can be taken. Chintan Patel, are you conducting training at our premises? Yes, if there is specific request, we can conduct that. Wasim Ahmad, can I have the type of extinguisher for? Yes, You just send your email ID or visit our info website and we will share the small leaflet which will clarify your doubts. Because to answer your question and discuss the type of fire and type of extinguisher will be too elaborate. So, but we will share that. Better that, Anurag, we can post it on our website.
Sure.
So he has asked the question, but many others may be having this query in their mind. So everybody will be benefited. Can we attend the basic fire safety webinar to our technical students? Yes, madam. Yes, it can be done. You please contact our email ID info@firesafeindia.org. And if we need help, we will divert the mail to the, since we are a national body and my earlier office or from Kiran who's coming there from, it is a state level organization. So we can take it to the all states also and we can deal with the subject. And if required, we can take their help or we can conduct. We have volunteers with us. Harshad is asking, sir, can we get information about EV fire through your medium? Yes, we can provide you. There are a lot of work going on. We can provide you the information. Rajesh Divedi, suitable fire extinguisher for house. The clean agent or dry powder extinguishers are multi-purpose and there are good extinguishers available. But I will not like to suggest a specific one, but we will provide you this information. Please write to our website, email ID info@firesafeindia.org. Chintan Patel, any law, how many times we will conduct evacuation drill? Twice in a year at least. Answer is twice in a year at least.